Hello, today I'm going to walk through the mechanical engineering degree audit with you. We'll just start at the top of the degree audit and kind of look all the way through. And I'm going to highlight a few important things to note about the mechanical engineering degree. Now, the degree audit that I'm showing you may look a little bit different from what you see in your MyPack portal. Mine is the administrative view, and your student view is set up slightly differently, but has all the same content. At the top of your degree audit, you see your student ID and your name and your major. You also see your advisor listed there. I'm your advisor, Cheryl Tran. If you're mechanical, if you're EFY, mechanical intent, then Emma Munson should be listed there. On the right side, you see a little print icon, or it may be a print link on your version. And that's what we prefer that you use to print out your degree audit for pre-registration. There's the total units link. And if you click on that, then you'll see some useful information. It'll show you how many credit hours you've completed, including transfer credits and AP credits, how many credit hours you have left, how many are in progress. It shows you your student standing. It shows you your student classification. So that's a good place to see how you're classified, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, based on credit hours. And underneath the total units are where you see your GPAs, your cumulative GPA, which is all courses that were completed at NC State, and then major GPA, which are all courses that you have taken with a prefix in your major. So those would be MAE courses. Now, if this is your first semester at NC State, you don't have any GPA information there. And once you finish your classes this semester, then the GPA will populate. And finally, the other thing you see on the right side is the little applied for graduation line. And that will show the semester that you apply for graduation at the very end once you submit an application. Starting with the freshman year, the courses are all pretty common among most engineering majors at this point. So you take all the CODA required classes. A few things to note here is that the degree audit, if you've never looked at it or have just looked at it very little, it's actually a really great tool for seeing everything that you need for your degree and seeing what's already been completed, what you've planned, what's in progress, and anything that you have yet to plan. So those would be where you see red X's. Those are things you need to plan or take or complete in the future at some point. So you can see that this student is probably a freshman and has yellow diamond courses. Those are in progress. Red X's, not planned yet, not taken yet. Green checks already done. Here you see a CR grade. CR is the credit that you receive through AP. So if you have AP credit, it'll show up as a CR. And of course, it does not show up in your actual GPA. And down here, you can see that this student is currently enrolled in E102. This is a course that's required by the college for all freshmen who are in EFY, and it's typically a spring-only course. And this semester, or this year, it's offered in fall, just because it's an unusual year with COVID. So students who are currently applying for CODA, if you happen to be ready to apply for CODA, then you have E102 completed, and you don't have E101 completed yet. E101 will be completed next semester. So if you are an EFY student at this time and you are to the point this semester where you're ready to apply for CODA, then you will be able to do so even if you don't have E101 completed yet. Now, the college will still expect you to take E101 next semester, but right now you'll be able to apply. Most of you who are first-year students are probably going to apply to CODA next semester. And in that case, you will be enrolled in E101 at that time. And so that will be fine. So there's nothing of particular note for a mechanical student here. Just take the classes that you need and keep moving on. So we'll take a look at the sophomore year next. On the sophomore year, a few things to note here. First of all, you have this MAE 200 course. The intent is that you take that in the first semester of your sophomore year. But sometimes, for whatever reason, that doesn't work out. Perhaps the class fills up before you can get enrolled. Maybe the times don't work for you, or maybe you coded late and needed it in a spring semester. You coded into a spring semester, and that's a fall only course. So if that's the case, you can delay taking MAE 200 to the first semester of your junior year. MAE 200 is open to juniors and seniors. I'm sorry, sophomores and juniors. if you get to your senior year and you haven't yet taken MAE 200, then we would have you take a substitute course. There's really no point in you taking MAE 200 in your senior year. So if you do get to the point where you've missed MAE 200 and you're a senior, that means you're in your last year, you should send me an email and let me know, and I'll let you know what the substitute courses are. All right, and then in the second semester of your sophomore year as a mechanical engineering student, I will point out this lab 305 is listed there. Now, the labs for mechanical engineering do tend to fill up pretty fast every semester, and I often get sophomores who email me during pre-registration when they're in their first semester. They're ready to enroll in their second semester, and they find that by the time they're able to enroll, MAE 305 is filled up, and they're afraid that that's going to cause a problem or a delay in graduation. The nice thing about mechanical engineering labs is that they're offered every semester and they're offered in summers. So if you find when you're a sophomore and you're ready to take 305 that it is full or that none of the sections fit your schedule, it's okay to delay taking those labs to a later semester. As long as you leave yourself at least 3 terms to get those labs finished, you can start taking them as late as your junior year. So don't sweat if you don't get into that first lab in your sophomore year. It can always be taken later. And looking at the junior year, this is where you really start to think about prerequisites for senior design. In your senior year, you'll have a senior project that's a year long. And in order to be prepared for that, you need to have completed all of your 300 level lecture courses. So that would be all of the MAE prefix courses here that have 3 credits. So MAE 302, MAE 308, MAE 315, MAE 310, and MAE 316, that suite of 5 classes. Those are the prerequisites for senior design. So it's important that you get those completed by the time you start the fall semester of your true senior year, when you start to take senior design. So think about that as you're planning your junior level classes. Another thing to note here is that there's a tech elective listed in second semester junior. And it's fine for you to take a tech elective in your junior year as long as you have the prerequisites. It's, everything about the mechanical curriculum is very prerequisite driven. But if you find that you struggle to get into a tech elective as a junior, or that you just don't have the requisites for the courses that you want, it's okay to delay that tech elective to your senior year. You could always put something else in there to take its place and then just move that tech elective to your senior year. Now, I do have a video that is specifically regarding technical elective options. Well, that's something I get a lot of questions about. So please take the time to watch the technical elective video as well. Looking at the senior year for mechanical engineering, some things to note here are there's 2 more technical electives. So you have a total of 3 technical electives for mechanical engineering. And there is 1 ME design elective listed here. That ME design elective, if you click on the requirement details link, it's going to give you a choice or a listing of about 3 classes. And that is actually a list that is not updated at this time. This ME design elective is now a placeholder for the first semester of mechanical engineering senior design. Mechanical engineering senior design is a year long, starts in a fall and ends in a spring. And so when you're doing your planning, whatever your plans may be, whether it's a co-op, if you're thinking about doing a co-op, or if you want to study abroad at some point, or take a semester off to do an internship, you have to be aware of where those plans are going to fall into place in relation to senior design. You need to get all of that done before your senior year so that you can have an uninterrupted fall, spring, senior year for senior design. So in the first semester of your senior year, then you can choose between 2 options for senior design. You have traditional senior design, and the course number for the first semester of that is MAE 415, or you can do the engineering entrepreneurship option. And the course number for that is MAE 482. So you choose either MAE 415 or MAE 482. When you click on this requirement details, it also gives you the choice of MAE 412. That is no longer in the design elective options. It is not a senior design course. MAE 412 is now a technical elective. So when you're choosing from this requirement details, make sure that you choose either MAE 415 for traditional or MAE 482 for engineering entrepreneurship. In your second semester, senior year, MAE 416 is the second semester of senior design. So if you're doing traditional senior design, then you will select MAE 416 for the spring. If you're doing entrepreneurship senior design, you select an alternate couple of courses, and that would be MAE 483 and MAE 484. And those two courses will replace MAE 416. All right, and then another thing that I want to mention is the ethics elective. Now the ethics elective is, you see it says verify there. That is a mechanical and aerospace engineering specific requirement, but it is also a GEP type course. And so it's a course you can combine with your GEPs. So if you plan well, your ethics course can be covered with, say, a humanities course or an interdisciplinary perspectives course. And we have a GEP video as well that explains GEPs and how they work. So I encourage you also to watch that video for a better explanation. And the last thing you see in your degree audit are the lists of GEPs. And so again, I'm not going to go into this too much because there is a separate video regarding GEPs. A few things to note here is that this student here, you see some grades that aren't necessarily just plain letter grades. There's a CR grade, those are AP credits. There's a grade with a T in front of it, those are transfer credits. So if you see these pop up in your degree audit, that means you've got some AP credits with CRs, or you've transferred some courses from another college. Those would be the ones with the T in front of them. And whenever you satisfy a verify requirement, again, that's explained in the GEP video, then you'll see a MET. And under here, if you have any extra classes, that is, if you have any maybe AP credits or transfer courses that do not count for any degree requirements, they will fall under a section at the very bottom that says non-degree courses. And if you take a course that is a substitute course, it will fall under the non-degree section. Now, if you take a substitute course, and an example of that would be there are substitute courses for your MATLAB, CSC 113. There's substitute courses for statistics. If you're taking that alternate option for senior design, MAE 416, I mentioned there were 2 courses you sign up for in place of 416, 483, and 484. If you take any substitute course, it will fall to the bottom under non-degree, and you need an advisor to manually move it up. So if you notice that you have a course that you're enrolled in and it's at the bottom non-degree and it needs to be moved up, send your advisor an email, me, or you can email Ms. Munson. Also, we are providing in the pre-registration website a Google form you can fill out to request to have courses move, substitute courses move. Now, if you see a course that's not a substitute and you planned and you thought would count for something and it falls under the non-degree, that should raise a red flag. If you ever have that happen, if a course falls under non-degree and you do not expect it to be there, you should immediately contact your advisor and find out what's going on. So that's all the information I have about mechanical degree audit. If you have any questions that are not covered in this video relating to your degree audit, please email me or email Ms. Munson, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.